Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome to our very first episode. I'm your host Darius,
And I'm Jasmine.
and in this podcast, we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything.
From our own lives to relationships and pop culture,
So, politics, sports, music, and movies.
and whatever else sparks our interest.
So,
So,
welcome
welcome
to
to
the
the
We're
We're
Just
Just
Saying
Saying
podcast.
podcast. So, hey, babe, how's your week going? How are you feeling?
This week hasn't been. Sorry, my voice.
okay.
This week has been pretty good. I got nothing to complain about. Just looking forward for a couple of things work wise, but honestly, yeah, it's not too good, not too bad, just a minor right amount of week.
Yeah.
How about you, babe? How was your week?
So last week honestly was really emotionally rough for me. I feel like, everything that happened between our president and disasters, people, mass numbers of people dying, and then people at work just having like dealing with like really petty stuff when there's like a lot of serious stuff going on in this world. It just, I don't know, mentally, I couldn't handle it this week. The pettiness, the little problems when there were so many big things going on.
Oh, for
But
sure.
I'm definitely looking forward to this coming week. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with my hair for vacation.
Mhm.
And then just getting those little things because I need it. I'm ready to be on vacation for a little bit.
And, well, a much needed trip. So
Yes.
I do agree with you on that. So
Yeah.
are those like your goals and plans for the week?
Yeah, just trying to get myself organized at work because I feel like when I leave for work for an extended period of time, all hell breaks loose unless I like leave strategic instructions for both of my teams to follow. And then like I said, just getting the wardrobe, the hair, the black girl, checklist to go on vacation.
Oh, vacation braids on the way.
Yes, probably.
I'm not mad at you. It's kind of crazy because all I gotta do is just out of office, and nobody will bother.
Yeah,
Nobody will bother me. But that's the lifestyle that we
yeah,
got. So no, that's good to hear though, baby. And I'm glad that hopefully you know coming back from vacation will relax you a little bit.
yeah. It'll be a nice refresher. I
Hmm.
hope so. So
I'm with
yeah.
you. I agree.
So now that we've checked in with each other, babe, any specific topics that you want to talk about this week?
I do. Um, I am not sure if you've been following the ASAP Rocky case.
A little bit.
Yeah, can you
Yeah.
give some more info on that? Are you getting info on that?
I'm only getting a couple of things. I don't really know if it's related to the case necessarily. It's more so people's opinions about Rihanna.
Uh, yeah, that I promise you, this case is so much turned into about Rihanna. You would
Yeah.
forget ASAP is looking at like 20 to 24 years in jail, which is crazy to me.
So what exactly did ASAP do and why is he looking at 20 some years in jail?
So I believe he is alleged to have pretty much his charges are like something of a firearm, like firing of a firearm or something, unlawful discharge of a firearm, something like
Oh,
that. So he was pretty much the whole case pretty much stems back to like jealousy. So it was like him and his former member of the ASAP mob, ASAP Relly. Pretty much, Relly called him up to meet, talk about how he's been coming up and he ain't been breaking bread. With some of the other members, they get to scuffling. Allegedly a gun comes out and shots get fired, and Relly has little grazes on his right hand, and so it all pretty much stems from there. And now
so is it like assault with battery or assault with a deadly weapon? Is that what he's being charged with?
so I don't. They're not labeling it as assault. It's just like
Oh,
the discharge of the weapon,
okay.
and in California has like some pretty strict like gun laws. So like every bullet fired is pretty much like a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Do we know if he legally owned that gun?
So the thing is, I think it may have been legal. But I am speculation. But it's not saying. But they are. There's a couple different defenses that they have. At first, they're saying like it's a starter pistol, and then they were saying it possibly have just been a prop gun.
So it couldn't have really caused any real injury
Right.
to him if it was a prop gun. Although there was a lady who died from a prop gun. Oh,
Nah, what lady died from a prop gun?
on the movie set from
Oh, the Rust movie,
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin. Yeah, I should
yeah.
watch that.
But that was a real gun, or was it a
Yeah.
fake?
It was a prop gun, but a real bullet.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was gonna say. So yeah, so I guess you can be injured
Yeah.
from a real or from a prop gun.
Yeah, it can. So, so that's what they're coming through, and like I was listening to the case, like I said, it was just like just so catty sounding, and the dude kind of didn't keep some of his story straight. Some of it sounded like kind of weird, and it's just like
Who ASAP Rally?
yeah, really. So like, cause Rocky hasn't the
He's
defense.
not gonna testify, right?
I don't know if he's gonna
I hope
testify.
not.
I haven't heard. I can
That'd
say.
be stupid.
I mean,
No.
he might have a good defense. I'm not sure. Like I haven't heard
Yeah,
that yet.
you shouldn't ever take a stand.
No, I'm looking at 24 years. If something I gotta say ain't that bad, then I'm a
most
defend.
defense lawyers are gonna recommend
Yeah.
that you don't take a stand.
That's true, but I get it. I promise I get it. But in some cases, it's just like, hold up, bro. Y'all don't even know. So if I'm truly innocent, I'm trying to take the stand because there's no way you can
No,
trip.
if you're truly innocent, you don't want to take the stand. You're gonna let the evidence and your lawyer defend
Right.
you. You're gonna sit down and you're gonna look like you're paying attention, taking this real serious in court. That's your job, to look like you're being real attentive.
Not at all. Your Honor, they have all been lying about me. This is
See,
not
that's
true.
exactly why your ass would go to jail. This is exactly why he would go to jail.
Yeah.
Because he would be up there trying to defend himself on the thing, and they'd be like, the jury would be like taking notes, like, this nigga, lock his ass up.
Side story. I really have given a deposition before, and it had gone on for a
Was
little
it
bit.
about you?
No, well, so it was a family court matter, and pretty much it went on for so long. I just like stopped answering questions and went to a whole speech. Like I just don't understand why y'all are doing this. All right, everything y'all have, everything y'all need. Why do y'all? I went on like a little 5-minute rant of just can y'all leave me alone and look at
Did it
some
look
evidence?
bad?
You know what I'm saying?
Did it look bad?
I don't know if it looked bad. It never went to trial. We went to court. It got settled before, so it was just like that. But so I do understand because at some point I know I would get tired, but I'm still gonna try. I would still try, but I know it's not a good defense thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and like like I said, the whole thing is like I said, even though as petty as it is, the whole thing has been turning into like about like Rihanna and stuff, like like how like if they're married or stuff like that, but y'all queen ain't married, by the way, just so you know.
She never claimed she was married.
She is with a nigga who could potentially go to jail for 20 years. Just saying, she ain't get
She's
drained.
also a billionaire. She can afford to take care of her children. She can afford to do it. She can afford to build a house outside the prison and go see him every single day if she wanted to.
It's crazy how she got those options and she still chose this nigga who could be going to jail.
And also, will ASAP go to like a real prison?
Probably not.
Or will he go to like, if he did have to go to jail, will he go to like one of those like, low security?
It'll probably be like
where he got an iPad in the background.
It'll probably be where they sent Martha Stewart.
Yeah. Like, is he really gonna go to like? He's not going to no hardcore prison.
You say he's gonna be gardening?
Yes.
My peppers.
Yes, he might be. You said prison TikTok. They be on there being fitness instructors and stuff.
A dude is a personal trainer.
Exactly.
From prison.
So, he could have a studio in there for all we know. He could be in there making music.
So. But I know, but just a lot of people's opinions are out there, and like I said, every time you see somebody pop out pregnant, a lot of times in comments you see like a lot of stuff about oh, did you get the ring, stuff like that. I ain't got nothing with it. These people are well above my tax bracket. The ring he could possibly buy her would squash me.
Right. And that's how I feel. I feel like once you get to a certain amount of money and you have like a lot of assets and things like that involved, it becomes tricky legally binding yourself. But when you just a regular brokey broke, then you really are it's more beneficial to combine your assets and your income and things like that if you plan on spending the rest of your life with somebody versus if you're not. So, I mean, I don't blame Rihanna for not marrying him. I feel like She doesn't have to if she doesn't want to.
It's only because she got her own. Like
Because
she a
not
billionaire.
only that, because of the amount of money and assets that she has. You know how long it would. Well, I don't know how long, because maybe she would sign a prenup. Hopefully, that would be the smart thing to do. If we decide to leave each other and part ways, then this is what you get, this is what I get, and then sign that and be done with it. Obviously, with that kind of money. But if they didn't, for whatever reason, that would be a really messy divorce. It's like Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Like, they took a really long time to get divorced because they probably thought they were going to be together forever. And they both got a ton of money.
Mm-hmm. And they adopted their own kids. And that's like what's happening.
Right. Yeah.
But that does bring up a question for me, though. That how long do you wait for someone in prison? ASAP looking at 20 years. Let's say worst case scenario. He do 20 years. Should Rihanna have to wait 20?
Should she have to wait for 20?
Mhm.
What do you mean, should she have to?
Like, not should she have. Should she wait for 20?
Oh, I wouldn't personally. I'd be like, hit me up when you get out. In the meantime, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Who knows what you doing in prison? You might get you a boo in prison.
Nigga.
20 years, that's a long time.
So how long?
And we're young. Me and Rihanna are close to the same age, I think.
They the same age?
I think so.
Around 30, mid-30s probably?
Yeah,
okay.
Mid-30s. So it's like 20 years, she's going to be in her 50s.
Right.
That's a long time to spend single and just raising some badass little boys. I don't know if her boys is bad, but little boys. Raising 2 little boys. She's going to be busy.
Okay, so how long do you think she wait? Like 5 years?
So I would assume if he's doing real jail time, I would hope that he's not doing real jail
would hope
time.
not.
I would hope that he would get like probation or something like that, or he had to do just like a couple of years. But if he had to do real jail time, I would end the relationship first.
Yeah. So
how can you really
any amount of time though, like 5 years is too long?
If I'm Rihanna, if I'm Rihanna, I would say 2 years max, because she kind of knew he had a criminal record when they got together, and then she also had a second baby with him after this incident happened, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Or she was pregnant at the same time.
She possibly could have got pregnant.
I don't know.
Because it took place in like, yeah.
She's chosen to stick by his side this entire time, so I don't see why she couldn't hold him down for a couple of years. She can be traveling and doing her own thing. Now, those 2 years will actually really fly by. I feel like anything longer than that, though.
Oh.
Because I feel like a lot of that will probably be him going to court and trying to appeal his trial or whatever they decide to do anyway. So a lot of them will be appeals and going to court.
Probably, yeah, but he probably gonna be in jail at the time while he's doing
right.
Jail process. So.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it would still be a lot of him needing her to do stuff with lawyers and him talking to lawyers and him trying to get stuff done. Mm-hmm. Now I feel like anything longer than that, I would say no.
You out here? So,
just because what quality of life are you gonna have? And it's like, is it fair to me to suffer because of your poor choice? At the end of the day, he made a bad choice to do something.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I'm with you.
Allegedly, he made a bad choice to do something. Now your entire family has to suffer your consequences because you chose to do something that could potentially put you in prison for most of our all of our children's childhood. Because 20 years, these will be grown men when he gets out of prison if he goes that long.
And he turned down 180 days, right?
Because he didn't want to take any plea deals or anything like that because he said he was innocent. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming if he feel like he really that innocent, and they got all that money, I feel like they lawyers should have been squashed this. I feel like personally, but take it to trial, whatever. Maybe he'll get out and he'll be able to walk away.
Okay. Now this does bring up a second question. What are acceptable?
You didn't answer the question. What's your time limit for you? How long you holding me down if I go to jail?
Are we ASAP and are you Rihanna rich?
No, I'm just me.
Today?
Yeah.
You got a good 6 months.
I can do 6 months in prison. That's it.
You got good 6 months.
Oh, that's nice of you, babe. Because I would not.
You wouldn't give me 6
months
today.
If you went to court and they said you're convicted and you're a felon and you're gonna go to jail, Yeah, I'm not holding you
You're
down.
not holding me
Sorry.
down at all.
It's too many niggas in this world. Sorry, guys.
Why?
It's so many people who follow the law in this world.
Yeah, what?
Now, if you get probation,
Oh,
you just got to be on probation or like house arrest or something like that. Then yeah, we cool.
but
But if I have to be strip searched to go and visit you, if I gotta spread my legs and go through a metal detector and shit like that, they gotta check me to see if I got drugs with me and shit like that.
first of
No,
all,
I can't do it.
first of all, I'm asking you to sneak something in.
If I gotta drive somewhere and wait in a long line
Yeah,
and do all of that stuff, and then we sitting at a table and we can't touch and all that other weird stuff,
I feel like you just can't touch like too long. Like you got like 10 seconds, and then
because you're not
after
supposed
that,
to be handed.
yeah, because you could at that point you could be
Yeah.
handing me something,
Yeah.
which in my case you would. It'd probably be some stupid shit. Like you would probably say, "Nah, I'm not doing all that." Actually, nigga, I'm not coming to see you
Right.
for you for saying shit.
So yeah, I feel like no, it's a no for me.
So, but that does bring me to a second question. What would be say we get together? And I got some crimes under my belt. What is your and I want to say this correctly, like, but what is your highest tolerance of a crime that I committed for you to date me? Like, could it be murder?
No, so you could not have murdered anybody. You really couldn't be arrested for anything that has to do with children. So nothing to do with children. So no child abuse, no sexually assaulting anybody of any range.
Okay.
That would be out for me. Now you had to whoop somebody ass, like assault, battery.
Assault, yeah.
I'm okay with that. Theft.
There we go, grand theft.
Grand theft.
I'm
Who
with
you
the-
steal from? Was it a corporation or was it somebody personal? Because you might steal from me.
Well, I feel like if I'm doing grand theft, it's something big. So I'm you know, what I'm
Right, but you
saying?
could be cracking cars. So like I know.
It's true.
That's grand theft.
So I put that under like, but even though that is technically grand theft, I still put that under scamming, which is fine as long as you ain't.
Yeah,
As long as
I'm
it ain't
not
ain't no shit. As long as you don't put nothing in my name. You
See,
know what I'm
that's the
saying?
thing. I don't trust you at that point. If you got caught scamming and you went to jail for it, you got prosecuted for it, convicted for it, I don't trust you because you could be trying to scam me next. The only thing I can say is if you got caught grand theft from a corporation, so you went and you stole from your local Walmart, Target, whatever. You stole from your mama, your cousin, your baby
Okay.
mama, somebody you know. No,
Okay, so
you ain't got no loyalty.
so let's do this. All right, say it wasn't from a corporation, but it was like from a gang. So like I'm
Like you
taking
stole some drugs.
so like I'm no like so I'm like some gang members like they got credit cards and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm trying to think of how to say it right. But if it's like the Yakuza mafia and I'm working scamming them, so I'm taking some money off the top or whatever for them, and I'm putting it.
I'm not dating you because you're a part of the Yakuza gang, mafia, whatever you just said.
But you get what I'm saying?
No.
Like I'm stealing, but from bad people.
Yeah, but you know my rule.
What's your rule?
When I was online before we met, you have to have a real job.
Well, yeah.
Your job has to have a W-2. Or you have to be a business owner. I need one of those forms. You have to be one of those people. If you're not paying taxes on your income,
but
we can't hang
but
out.
the rapping is gonna pay off. This is my year. You know what I'm saying? I got an interview
again.
with
If
Big
you're not
Sean
paying taxes
tomorrow.
on your income, we can't hang out. I need you to be excited like the rest of us when our W-2s come in the mail. If you over here just counting your cash in the corner somewhere, keeping it in the shoebox,
in the mattress,
or if you have a Chime or Cash App card,
yeah, Cash App. Cash App is legit. It's legit. It's
we grown as hell.
It's recognized.
We're grown as hell. If you can't get you a real bank account, it's a no for me. Sorry.
Sure. I'll go with about all right. I ain't got a credit or debit card, but I got a Rush card. It was like the pre-activated.
No, you need to have a bank account.
The Rush card is my bank account.
No.
I get to
I
decide.
need you to be banking with like
Chase.
Chase, Huntington,
Mm-mm.
American, whatever.
It can't be
Bank of America.
It can't be SB Financial. Shoebox Financial.
Oh no.
Nah, okay. Whatever. All right. Well.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so let's take it back because I kind of got your answer. So what is an acceptable crime you can still?
I said theft from a corporation. So
theft.
like maybe you stole from your job, or you stole like you were out shopping or something like that. That's okay.
On like a corporate card or something like that. Okay.
Grand theft, no. Like auto, like you stealing cars. That's a no.
I boost cars. Yeah, if I boost cars. No. Okay. What if cars from like Enterprise?
No.
So I'm just stealing their car. No. Okay. All right.
But anything else, and I feel like, I dated people without license because they just speed or can't stay sober when they behind the wheel. You can't drive me around because I don't trust you. But I can still date you. But
I don't know. As long as it ain't murder, and like you said, something with kids.
So if I sexually assaulted somebody, an adult,
said
that's
murder,
okay.
or if you sexual, okay, fine. If it's nothing sexual or murder,
or a child
yeah,
then it's okay.
I mean, I guess I would need to trust you, like I said, but my rule would be just like, please don't open nothing up in my name.
Would you leave me at your place unattended though? Like we just met.
I
come and stay the night at your apartment, and you gonna run to the store real quick. Do I gotta go with you, or can I stay there by myself?
Well, the first night you there, or we've been going for a minute.
Yeah.
All right, first night you there, yeah, you like I gotta take this trash out. Why don't you grab this recycling? Like if we've been for a while.
Can I hand you your wallet?
First, like you've done that before. All my cars in my wallet was in a whole different room.
What?
You've taken my wallet before.
Never taken your wallet.
My wallet was in my pants pocket, and then you left out to go open your store, and then when I came out the room, you came back, and my wallet is sitting on the counter.
Lies. I've never touched your wallet without you asking me to touch it.
Nah, like I said, it's okay. It's fine because I got you. But at the end of the day, it's just like, man, that's crazy that my wallet done walked into this.
Never know where your wallet is. Ever.
Well, these days, because you keep moving it all the time.
No.
That's all it is.
I already have one of your cards, so why would I need to go into your wallet? And I took a picture of a couple of the others.
Because you want more. And, what if I got you like, oh, I haven't seen this card yet. Click, and now you know what I'm saying. But then you forget. I forgot I took this out his pants.
Yeah.
Anyways, so switching over from ASAP Rocky, have you heard about that Detroit rapper that couldn't get into, or pretty much ordered a lift and then got denied service from the lift because she was too big?
So I heard a little bit about it. I really don't know who she is. So
she's like,
I really don't know exactly how big she is. Is she like 90 Day Fiance? Not 90 Day Fiance. My 600 Pound Life?
I probably wouldn't say My 600 Pound Life, but honestly, from the videos that I've seen of her and the type of car that it was, like, I actually believe with the Lyft drivers, like, I can't get you in this car. I would say, like, she's on the bigger end. Like, maybe not 600 pounds, but maybe like 3, 4, 3, 4, 50 pound, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's just like, looking at that situation, it's just like you gonna throw off the suspensions of the car or something like that. And like the dude was even said, like, I think he was saying in the video, like, you should order you a XL, which is true because it's just like even me, I'm not that big, and I be riding when I ride in like my brother's car.
Do you know what kind of car it was?
It was some kind of Lexus. I can't remember the exact model, but some kind of like Lexus. But like I said, but if you actually look at the car, it is kind of, like I said, it's kind of
Is it
small.
like it was like a small sedan?
Yeah, it's like four door. It's like a 4 door car, 4 door sedan. Um, but it's just like just looking at it, and then like I said, when you actually like see her size, it's just like I get. You can kind of get, for me personally, I can kind of get where he's coming from,
Yeah.
and it's just like
So how is she suing Lyft?
so she's suing them for pretty much discrimination because they're discriminated against.
But it's not Lyft.
Well, the dude is independent contractor for
Right.
Lyft, and because Lyft is a company, so towards the company most times,
Yeah, but he's an independent contractor.
right? But he still is representing Lyft while he's out there, so they still fall under
I
that
don't think
umbrella.
that's no sense. I'm pretty sure he probably signed something in that contract.
Well,
And
because
I'm pretty sure when you
anybody,
sign up for Lyft, all of them have like that little fine print when we
yeah.
sign up for anything. I'm pretty sure something in there is gonna say you can't sue them. You probably
So,
signed an agreement to arbitration.
yeah, like I think the case what I'm saying is I just lost. I had a thought. I just lost it. I think. Well, actually, okay, no, I got it. I think it doesn't really because even still, you always have the right to refuse service. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So technically, like even though I accepted this ride to pick up, when I got there, you know what? This ain't gonna happen. We're gonna refund you your money. All you gotta do order somebody else. I'm gonna recommend you order a bigger car. But since I don't technically have to do service to you, then I'm gonna just go about my day, and I think that's why I kind of won't stand, just because you do have that option, you
Yeah.
know. So that's why I personally think it won't stand. Like I don't think it's gonna go too far on that.
Yeah, because I feel like as a Uber or Lyft driver, you can refuse somebody. Like, what if they open up the door and they smell bad?
You
You
could
know
do
what I
that,
mean?
but that's
So
what I'm
I
saying.
feel like say like, hey, I don't feel like you're going to fit in my vehicle. You might be
Mhm.
too heavy, or you might be too big to get.
Yeah.
That's what he was
Well,
saying.
yeah, and because the thing that's pretty much what he was saying, and then he started.
Like
I'm
she was
like,
gonna get
he
stuck.
was like my tire, because a lot of people on social media making jokes. So a lot of times they were like, "Oh," he was like, "Oh, my tires, my suspension still goes down." People like, I get it, my tires are tired. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a lot of jokes on that, and it's just like, and I feel like no shade to her, but it's like you making this a big deal than it is. They gave you your money back, order the XL, and go about your day and
Right.
call it
You
that.
think she wanted attention from this?
She probably and see that's a good thing you realize because she is like a local Detroit rapper. So
So now
you
she
know
has some
yeah.
attention.
So now she got some attention. Somebody I'm sure a couple more people probably like, well, let me listen to what kind of music she makes, stuff like that. But it's just like so no when you especially when you're coming up, I don't think there's no such thing as like bad. It's
Yeah.
publicity. So I think that's where it comes from. But yeah, but that's just been like something kind of crazy that's been circling around, and I had thoughts on it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm curious to see what's gonna come out of that because I just personally don't think it's gonna stand up in court.
Nah,
But
nah,
that's just me.
nah, not at all. But people try. This is America where you can get sued.
Oh, I kind of wanted to talk about the plane crash that happened in DC on Wednesday. Um, so I know that it was like 67 victims that ended up passing away, which is really terrible. I watched a couple of interviews of people, family members of the victims that were waiting at the airport for them to come. It was just really sad because, you on an airplane, it's already a little bit nerve wracking for most people, and then once you finally get that notification, like, okay, we're getting ready to land, we're getting ready to, we'll be on the ground in 10 minutes, whatever the case may be, and then you can start to see like everything. Like I know how I feel like flying back into Chicago. It's like you see the skyline, you see Lake Michigan, you start to see all the buildings and stuff like that start to pop up as you get closer,
Hmm.
and so I don't know. I just feel like I have an eerie feeling about it since then, and I'm like trying not to go down conspiracy theory so I can have respect for the people who passed away and for the family members right now. But I did have a couple of, thoughts.
So say, well, so what's the theory that you kind of have,
I
or
kind of have a conspiracy theory that this was done on purpose.
like explain so like you think like somebody was somebody important was on the plane. There was, what do you?
So either somebody was on this airplane that they needed, for whatever reason, our government needed to get rid of. Because to me, it's like basically what I know about Black Hawk helicopters, which is basically what I did in my research about it, is that they are military grade helicopters,
Mhm.
helicopter, and they are able to maneuver very quickly. They are able to, if there's a missile or something coming at them, they're able to move around it. They're equipped with night vision. They're equipped with lights. They should have been able to see this airplane in front of them. They shouldn't have been able, and then they shouldn't have been flying as high as they were. They were supposed to be capped out at
Yeah.
200 feet or something like that, and they were flying well above that. And then the other thing is that all of these TSA people got fired all of a sudden, like the week before. And so there was only one person that was supposed to be doing a job of two people that day. And so it's like, what a coincidence that this particular day, there's only one person staffed to do this job. There also happens to be a military exercise going on in this area at night. And they're flying well above where they're supposed to be flying. And then they're not communicating with the tower when the tower is giving them commands. They're just completely ignoring it, and then they just boom right into each other. There was no like, how like they do accident reconstructions where they can like tell if somebody like tried to hit their brakes when they're in a car accident versus if they just like went straight on to somebody. There's in those videos again, I don't know because it's so grainy. It does not look like there was any hesitation with the helicopter. It looked like it went straight on into that plane. And I'm just like, why? What was the point?
So the only thing, and I can agree with you, and I can actually see that. I truly do understand it, but my only thing is just because, like in the videos, I think just because just personally, have not seen a really good video of it. Like I cannot, like I see the explosion and everything. I just cannot see the actual helicopter
Even though I've
flying
showed you the
into.
video.
You showed me a
several
time,
times,
and every
I
time,
even
first
showed
of all,
you one where the helicopter was circled in red.
yes, and even it's like I can't see. I literally cannot make it out. Like I'm always either like I'm looking at the other thing that's
The other
flying,
plane
the
that's in
other
the
plane that's
corner.
flying off to that. I end up looking at that, and then I just see this explosion on this side. So I can't like believe me. I love the conspiracy theory. All right, because I even heard something like the the Black Hawk plane could actually be flown like unmanned.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
unmanned.
saying?
And so it's like, was there really anybody in that airplane? They claim that there was three
Yeah,
officers
there's
in there.
three. Yeah.
Did they ever? I mean, I don't know. I haven't really done any further research on it to know if they named the names of the officers.
So
If they
I did see
released their identities.
they released one white woman thing, even though I guess the family was like, don't share her name. They released
Oh,
her name
from a military member.
from the military,
Okay.
man. So they did release like one person. I don't know if they ever released if there were three people on it. I don't know if they released the other two. But I did see an article about about there was one woman on it, which is crazy because a lot of the time it seems like people are trying to blame women for everything right now. Anyway, that's
I don't know how we have a whole man to blame for a lot of things, so I couldn't see how they were trying to blame a woman for anything.
First of all, it's DEI's fault.
Yes, and essentially, and that's what I'm saying. It's like we had this terrible tragedy. What was it like 9, 10 days into his presidency, and then it's like he comes out with these statements of this blame game. I feel like the most presidential thing should have been to come on with condolences for families, figure out what you can do for all of the, families, of the victims who passed away. Like that should have been the focus. And then saying we're going to do a thorough investigation and figure out what's going on and not jump to any conclusions right away. That first press conference should have been solely about empathy and about victims and about expressing the sorrow and the sadness that was going on that day. It shouldn't have been nothing about, well, I think it was this person's fault. Well, I think it was that person's fault. Well, it was this and it was that. And it's like, that wasn't the time or the place for it, honestly. An investigation should have been done, and then maybe a press conference next week where you go in and you say, we did an investigation. This is what we found based on the black box information, based on local cameras, based on all the, flight path from the computers and all the other stuff. then they should have been able to been like tell us a story then about what's happening.
No.
Then you can blame DEI if you want to make up a story about something. But right then and there was not the time.
Now, do you know where you're going wrong with this? You're making sense. And this is America. We don't make sense here, damn it.
Well,
we find somebody to blame, and we blame them.
But he said it was common sense. That's what when people are like, how do you know? He said it was common sense.
No, we are your fault. You right there. This is your fault. And now I'm going to do this, and I'm going to blame because this is what we do in America.
Yeah.
Like, so stop making sense and just start doing stuff.
Essentially. So I don't know. I'm like, the whole situation is sad. It's really, really sad to me. And the way it's being handled is embarrassing for our entire country. I feel like he's just making an entire circus out of this situation. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what the official report, if they ever release anything on it. And also, my other conspiracy theory is that something else is happening behind the scenes.
So you think this story is covering
up distraction because this is what all the news. Because I listen to a lot of news podcasts. I watched a lot of the news posts on TikTok and things like that. A lot of these people, that's all we've been talking about is this plane crash and the other plane crash in Philadelphia that happened. Like, that's all we've been talking about when we're talking about tariffs. Something else is going on behind the scenes.
Well, I think it could have been the tariff thing. That stuff started happening, and like now prices about to go up. But but we concerned about these planes, which, like I said, I don't want to take nothing away because there were like 67 victims.
67 victims. Yeah, 3 on the helicopter, 64 on the plane.
And which is crazy because I would actually believe that because I do feel like we kind of do that a lot in this country. Like we'll kind of take some story and like not to say and like not to belittle what happened, but we will take a story and kind of spiral it to cover
deep dive. It's like down the rabbit hole.
And then but the whole time while that's happening, it's just like all right, like
something else is
something on the low, like now women can't come outside without hats on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like some crazy laws getting passed. No, and that's how I feel. So I was just like, I don't know. I'm just like, it's giving me a really bad feeling. I don't really know any other word to use to describe it. It's just a really bad feeling about what's to come. And I felt like a lot of times there's been like themes for the year. Like I remember, what was it, 2020, when like the whole year was focused on police brutality. That's all you saw on like the news. It was like black people being gunned down by police officers and things like that in the streets. And then 2021 was all about fraud, election,
the insurrection,
all of that stuff, and political, and all of this, the MAGA, all of that stuff. And I just like every year there's like something going on. And then last year was all about the election again. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know. It's just I think we're heading into dark time.
Oh, for sure. Yes, definitely.
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to hold on to all of the little bright spots in our life. So let's talk about the Super Bowl so we can cheer up a little bit.
Let's roll into the Super Bowl.
So the Super Bowl for this year is the Eagles versus the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm. A rematch from what year?
From 2023.
Boom, there you go.
Yeah, so I watched that game because, I'm a Chiefs fan. Mm-hmm. I'm really a Bears fan, but if I can't be a Bears fan because we suck right now, then I'm going to be a Midwest fan because I'm a Midwest girl. So I was rooting for the Lions, the Detroit Lions. They got knocked out.
So they get knocked out by?
The Washington Commanders.
There we go. Yes. Okay.
They lost to the Washington Commanders, and then I was also rooting for the Washington Commanders because Washington D.C. is Chocolate City. So I was like, "Come on, let's do it for the black people." But then they got knocked out by the Eagles. So now I'm rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs again.
Now what? So is it specifically just because they're Midwest?
So several reasons. They're Midwest. They are proven champions in Travis Kelce.
And Travis Kelce.
I'm always rooting for Travis Kelce.
Okay, what about Tay-Tay?
And I love Taylor Swift.
She's dating Travis, so
it's a win-win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So but you don't feel like like Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley. You don't feel like they actually could
Is
deserve it?
Jalen Hurts on the Eagles?
Yeah.
Okay, that's their quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah,
And Saquon is their wide receiver.
sure.
Okay. He's their running
Whatever you
back.
say.
Yeah, he's the running
Okay,
back.
you said it, not me. I
Okay.
didn't say that.
Okay. Well, no, I think I personally am going for the Eagles.
Oh,
Yes.
really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Travis Kelce. I truly
I don't
do.
like it.
Really?
Well,
Why?
I don't like his wife.
Is it the fried chicken? Is it that?
It's her energy.
We don't have to get into it. Well,
Yeah.
I do the fried chicken thing because she was like, they were doing like a Q&A thing, and she was like, "What's your favorite food?" Well, Patrick was asking like, "What's my favorite food?" And she out the gate sing songy like was like fried chicken. He would say no, and she was like,
She said Patrick Mahomes' favorite food was fried chicken.
"Yeah,
That
and
racist.
exactly." And then she went to a second thing, and she was like, he was like, so she said no. He said no to the fried chicken. Then she said chicken fried steak, and he's like, no, it's like Mexican food.
Was that right?
Well, no, he told her. Eventually, he told her. She had the two
He
guesses.
was
This
Mexican.
is his wife, by the way.
Pop quiz. What's my favorite food?
Hot food. You love a good hot.
A cooked, you mean like a cooked meal?
Yeah, you love a good cooked.
A warm meal.
Mm-hmm. Fresh off the stove.
Yeah. What kind of hot warm meal fresh off?
A dinner type of.
How about I won't ask you that. How about I ask you what's been my favorite food lately?
You gonna do this to me now?
I see every weekend, pretty much every day.
What, pizza?
Yes.
Oh, okay. But that's not your favorite food, right?
Right now it is. I mean, I like really love Maggie's pizza.
Okay,
right
you know
now.
what? Because you know what? You normally switch it up on me, and that's why I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
I gave you a break.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
A break.
I'm just testing you.
I get it. Anyway, back on topic. I am tired of Kansas City winning at this point.
Because they won 2 times.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
First of all, no. They've won the last 2 times. They've also won another 2 times prior, like not consecutively. Like it would be cool to see that record, but also it's just like you get tired, especially if it's not your team. You get tired of seeing the same team win. You know,
I
like
don't know. I don't know how you can tell somebody stop being the best.
I'm not telling them to.
I'm tired of seeing you be the best. So please
Yeah.
stop being the best.
When it's not your team, yes, because it's like
So if it was the Bears getting ready to do a three-peat, you would be rooting for the Bears?
the Bulls in the 90s. I could not get enough. Like even though the first
Bears.
I know, I get you, but what I'm saying is even though I was way too young for the first 3-peat, that second 3-peat, I was there and watching, and that was great because the city was alive for that. But when it's not your city and your team, and they keep winning, you get tired of it. I get how, like I'm going to a basketball reference. I can see how Utah probably felt when the Bulls kept beating them. Like it's just like fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying?
It's for it to be my turn.
Like yeah. So even though it's like it's not that deep for that, it's just like okay, I wouldn't mind seeing Philly win. I really like Saquon Barkley. He seems like a good dude. He could have had the rushing title this year. Can you believe that?
The what?
The rushing title. Well, I'm sorry, the all-time like most rushing yards in the season.
Rushing. I thought you said Russian, like a Russian. Sounds like it's a Russian.
Because
rushing.
Yes, okay. Rushing title, like for the most rushing yards in a single season by any player ever. He could have had that, and he gave it up and pretty much he didn't play the last game, so he couldn't get the record. But he gave it up to rest so he can make this Super Bowl push, and now he's in the Super Bowl. So it would only make sense that he win the Super Bowl because if not, he Saquon Barkley.
Okay. So this is his last year playing ever? No. So why can't he just do it next year?
Because it's you're talking about an all-time record. Like this is in the history of sport in the sport. It's not easy just to like, all right, I'm gonna get the most yards ever in the season by any running back ever in the history of the sport. That's a hard
I get that, but what does that have to do
record,
with winning the Super Bowl?
because he had the opportunity to get that record, but he chose not to, so he can win the Super
Right.
Bowl.
So now,
So now I hope that he gets the Super Bowl, because if not, he could have at least had his name in his name in a
so you're
history book.
saying he should win one since he didn't win the other.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. He gave up one to win the other, and so since he was willing,
See, that's his fault though. He made a
it's
bad
not. It's
choice.
his coach's fault. And he
You
just
were
went against coach.
guaranteed to win the rushing. You ain't guaranteed to win the
He
Super
wasn't.
Bowl.
He wasn't necessarily guaranteed to win, because anything could have happened. The reason they didn't play him because they didn't want to risk him getting hurt.
That's his coach's fault. I'm sorry, but you need to be mad at your coach. That ain't got nothing to do with the rest of us. You the record was there. He took that from you. That's between y'all and God. Ain't got nothing to do with the rest of us. So like I said, go Chiefs.
Go Eagles. The house divided, y'all. Okay, so
what about the halftime show? Are you looking forward to the halftime show?
I'm actually very excited for Kendrick to do that, and he got SZA, and I hope he bring out some special guests. No, I still think, I know, I think this is just wishful thinking. I still think he brings out Lil Wayne.
You think so?
Yeah.
Do they have any music together?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. It would actually, no, they do. Mona Lisa from I can't remember the name of the Lil Wayne album, but they definitely have a song together. At least I can think of that. So, but even though it wasn't it's a crazy good song, but it was like kind of a deep album cut type of song. I'm actually really excited. I don't think he performs Not Like Us.
You think he's not gonna do it?
I don't think he does Not Like Us. I don't,
because it's such a such a diverse audience.
Not even a diverse audience. I don't think he goes on there and calls Drake certain names
on national TV.
On national TV at the Super Bowl.
Maybe he does like a little snippet.
I don't think he does. I think he doesn't do the song at all.
Do you think he's gonna do songs from the second album?
This GNC? Yeah, I think he does. I think he does a couple like that. Like that TV off is pretty dope. Like I said, and like I'm still hoping, truly, like, and I know it's not gonna happen, but in my heart, I want it to happen. I still want him to bring out Lil Wayne.
What?
I don't know, because it still would be pretty dope. It's in New Orleans. He's from New Orleans. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Do you think if he does it? Do you think if he does not come out for halftime, that he'll still come to the game?
Wait, that's a great question. I think he still goes to the game for sure. If his plans are to go to the game, yeah. I think he still goes, but I think he just, I just think maybe he just go get a hot dog during halftime.
He's not gonna sit there and watch.
Nah, I'm supposed to be on this stage. This is my home city. I ain't about to watch. Even though Kendrick has had a hell of a year, I'm not about to watch somebody else take the shine I could have. Hell no, hate all day. What about you?
Can we agree that Lil Wayne's demographic has changed over the last several years? This is not. We're not talking about 2012, 2000.
We ain't even talking about 2008.
We're not talking about 2008 Lil Wayne. We talking about 2025 Lil Wayne.
Yeah, but that don't mean he had hits in 2008. Those are prime Wayne years. Yeah. What about you? What do you think about? Are you excited for this?
Yeah, I like old Kendrick, so I'm hoping he do some goodies from the past, because I don't really care for new Kendrick.
No,
I love him with SZA. I love them together. I'm glad that they're touring together.
Did they do Luther?
I hope so. That's my favorite song, so I really hope that they do it. But I don't like the new aggressive Kendrick. I don't like that energy he got going on right now. It's too much for me personally. I like him. I like his older music. So it's just.
I want to be with you.
Yeah, that's my energy. I like those. I like those songs. That's what I vibe with. Again, there's some songs off of his latest one. What's it called?
GNC.
I like that album. I listened to a couple songs of that. Luther is probably my favorite. What is it? Dodger Blues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. And so it's like it's a couple songs on there I like, but it's not my favorite. If we're gonna talk about Kendrick Lamar, my
I get you on
favorite.
that.
What's the one I love? Is it Love?
Love me.
Yeah.
I
What's the name of that?
I was just thinking that.
What's oh?
What is the name of it?
I don't know the name of the song.
I think it is Love.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite Kendrick song.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a couple more that I like,
Not
but I
with you.
can't remember the names.
Damn is pretty good. Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City. That album is like if you listen to it, it's a story. So it's like he takes you to his like hood and how he grew up, and it's just like, damn, this is good. Like I said, he's got a lot. Like he's actually he's a GOAT for sure.
Yeah, we can all agree with that, but I just feel like right now it's not my style.
I get, but I feel like it's this time and he's had a big year, so it just makes sense
Right,
for
of
him to be
course.
performing.
And his music is more California. It's that West Coast vibe, which is totally great for them. It's just I'm not a West Coast girl.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of the GNC album. It's like this is very West Coast. Like I gotta see walk to this, and I think I got pretty good. No, so actually speaking on this topic of sports, babe, I have to get your thoughts on this. Major move just happened yesterday. The Lakers just traded Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks, essentially for Luka Doncic. I need to know your thoughts on this.
I feel like I know Anthony. I feel like I've seen his face before.
Like, yeah, you say his first. Just his first.
I feel like I've
I
seen
know Anthony.
And I feel like Luka, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good trade. Are they both playing the same position? Are they both like point guards?
No, so Anthony Davis is a center. He's a big man. And Luka Doncic is like kind of a point shooting guard.
Yeah.
So he was kind of that. But you think it was kind of a fair trade?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was adequate.
How so? Can you? Because they play different positions.
Right.
They're different.
Because I
ages.
feel like you said who traded who? You said Lakers traded to who?
Lakers traded to Dallas. So
to Dallas. So I feel like Dallas need a big person. They need more big people on their team.
They need more
They
size.
got some small people, so I feel like they needed the size.
Yeah.
And the Lakers right now, they got a lot of big people on their team.
So the crazy thing about that is Anthony Davis literally like maybe a week or two ago was like the Lakers actually need more bigs, and he was one of their big men, and so they traded him, and so now the Lakers actually essentially got smaller.
Is LeBron still playing next year? Last season.
I feel like he has one more year left.
They traded Bronny, right?
No, Bronny is still on the Lakers. No, he's been switching to the G League.
Bronny is switching to the G League?
Like he's been switching back and forth. Like he's been getting practice in the G League, and
you can do that.
Yeah, it's because the G League is more like kind of the development league for the NBA.
I didn't know you could play on both. I thought maybe it was like a competition.
Nah, they can call you up because you have like your affiliate team. So like if you have like injuries, too many injuries on your team, then you can dig into your G League.
So I just wonder, like, if he playing on the G League and he gets an injury, then how does that affect the Lakers? Or is he not getting that much play time?
He be in the G League, so it won't affect the Lakers, and he's not getting that much play time anyway.
Okay, explain this to me then. I don't understand what you're saying. So he is on the Lakers, or no, he's not on the Lakers. He's in the G League version of the Lakers.
So yeah, G League version of the Lakers. Technically,
so he's not a Lakers.
He's
not like a LeBron.
So he is a Laker. However, he got sent to their developmental league, which is still affiliated with the Lakers. It's their developmental team, right? So they can call him up. You know what I'm saying? When they like more
so
like
he kind of like a sub for like a jury. When it's like
a
child.
He could be an alternate. Yeah. So it's like okay.
He's not really in the jury. He got to sit there and pretend and watch the game every week. But he actually not gonna play. He is,
because he just played a couple days ago in the NBA game.
Why is he on the G League?
He's in the G League because even though he's not good to be on the NBA team every day yet. So he goes down to the G League to
play games.
And they play games, yes.
against other G Leagues that are affiliated with
What,
NBA.
what other NBA teams?
So you mean to tell me all this time the NBA has a full roster of regular players, and then they also hire other people to just play games against each other to practice when it's their time to play in the real NBA
Well,
games?
it's a developmental, yeah.
And they get paid to do that?
It is, but it's not a lot. Like them dudes got
So
other.
I can join
I mean, if you were good
for
enough,
WNBA.
I don't think it's.
They have G League for
They,
WNBA.
I don't think they're at that point yet. They pretty
I don't play
soon.
basketball.
Pretty soon, the WNBA should have a G League, but right now they're growing. They're in the midst of growing, especially with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson. Like they about to grow. Like they got things to. They just added a new team this year. There's a push to add another
I think
team.
it's 2.
Hmm?
I think they're adding 2 more. So.
Possibly. Because I know there's a push to add one in like Tennessee, and then they just added one in like Golden State. So
Did they add one for Canada or something?
that might be in the works. So that
So
might
I
be
feel like they took the same name, like the Raptor.
maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard too much on that. I know that the plan is to grow, but they're still growing. So right now, if you don't make it in that draft, you going to go play overseas or something. But and they did do like there is another league out there that they just started called Unrivaled. That they're taking like WNBA players in the off season do like 3-on-3s.
Oh.
So that's still getting work done. So yeah, so overall, you think it's a good trade with Anthony Davis for Luka Doncic, essentially.
Yeah.
And you don't think Luka, because Luka's only 25 years old, when Anthony Davis is about 33.
Yeah, they got some young blood. Lakers like young.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't think it was a bad trade on Dallas to then get an injury-prone big man and trade pretty much their talent?
No, because
do that. Let's
why? What's your?
So me?
You think it was a bad trade?
That trade makes no sense. I'm not sure. Like, I think it's pretty good for Dallas. Well, not. I'm sorry, pretty good for the Lakers, but it doesn't make sense because it really doesn't address the need that they have. Like, don't get me wrong, Luka Doncic. I think he's actually a generational player. Like his numbers, I think he's literally averaging like 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. But like he's young, so he still can get better technically.
Yeah.
Whereas
he has time to grow.
Yeah, we're like Anthony Davis is in his 30s, is hurt about even though I think he played like career high games last year and he's doing pretty good this year, he's still out a lot. So it's like, okay, and then they did have a pretty solid big man, Daniel Gafford, who is literally like one of has the highest shooting percentage in the league.
Who Dallas did. So they really didn't need a big man.
No, so the trade just doesn't make sense. Like it's got some big names involved to it, but I'm just this confused. But it would be it's going to be pretty cool to see LeBron and Luka play together and see how that goes.
All right, babe. So let's move on and talk about the movie that we just watched on Friday. It's called Parallel. So the reason why we ended up watching Parallel is because we originally watched this movie called Caddo Lake. Mm-hmm. And this was kind of around the time where we were trying to watch like some scary movies and stuff like that. So Caddo Lake is a really good movie. It's like a thriller / suspense kind of movie.
A little bit of sci-fi up in there.
About time travel. It's really good. It's about a guy who ends up. I don't want to spoil it, so just watch it.
I want to say.
I think it's on Prime.
Can I spoil a little bit?
What do you want to spoil?
A little bit? Can I just say the girl is her own. The girl is her own grandmother. Does that spoil it?
No, don't do that. Anyways, so watch the movie. It's a really good movie. I enjoyed it. You did too, right? And so then when I enjoyed Caddo Lake. So I was on TikTok looking up reviews about Caddo Lake to see if people felt the same way that I felt because, just the way that it ended, I thought was pretty good. And then I came upon some suggestions of other similar movies to Counter Lake, and it came across Parallel. And so Parallel is pretty much the Black people's version of Counter Lake. It stars Aldous Hodge, Edwin, his brother, and then Danielle. I can never say her last name right. Deadweiler. I think it's how you say her name. It's a really good movie. So
you talking about Parallel now?
Yes, Parallel. Yeah. So in Parallel, it's pretty much about parallel universes. So if you're into movies about like sci-fi or about multi dimensions, then you'll really enjoy this movie. What were your thoughts on it, babe? Let's start with the beginning of it. Did you understand like how the movie opened, or did you like it?
Okay.
These are spoilers, by the way. We suggest that if you do want to watch this, you come back and finish this episode after you watch.
There's no spoiler.
I'm spoiling it.
Like it had, like I am a fan. Like even though I don't know the Edwin Hodge brother like that, like I know he's been in some stuff that I've seen before.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan. But I'm like Aldous Hodge. I'm a big fan of.
Right. Yeah.
Like I watch him on and the Danielle lady. Like I know I've seen her in other stuff, and she seems like a pretty good actor. So and they Black. So I'm gonna support them.
Yeah, she was in the How Did They Fall?
Oh yeah,
she was in How Did They Fall. She she was in From Scratch, I think it's called, with Zoe Saldana. She was her sister.
Wait, okay, yeah.
She's been in a lot of movies.
I get that. Yeah. And I go with it. And like so, and actually, I forgot she's in the Heart of the Fall. And I actually liked her character in that.
Yeah.
I will say this for the movie Parallel is exactly what I thought would happen, which is I was going to be confused by the end of that movie, and I was going to have that movie explained to me, which is exactly what I expected. So, was it a good movie? Yes. Was I a little confused? Yes.
So I don't really think the movie was confusing. I think it kind of made you think about grief, and I think it kind of made you think about what your ideal situation, like what would you do to kind of like either get back to your reality, or if you are okay with being able to essentially manipulate the universe to kind of get things that you want. So that's kind of what I took away from it. So essentially it's about Danielle's character was it Vanessa? Was that her name?
Yeah.
Okay. So Vanessa was married to Aldous' character. I can't remember his name right now. Alex. So Alex and Vanessa.
He was also Alex Cross.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking about that. Yeah.
Range.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
So it was Alex and Vanessa, and then their brother started with an M. Martell. Yeah. So Martell. So those are the three characters in this whole movie. There's nobody else in this movie. So it's just them three. No, it's just them three. Wow. So it's Alex, Vanessa, and Martell. So Martell and Vanessa had a child named Obi, which I thought was a crazy name to choose for a child.
For Alex and Vanessa, their child Obi.
I thought that was a crazy name, but anyway. So they lost their child, and what happens is that Vanessa is grieving. It's the 1 year anniversary of the death of their child, and he died in a car accident, and she was driving. It was not her fault. There was a driver that ran a red light, but she still internally is grieving the child. She's not moving past, she obviously hasn't reached out to a therapist or anything like that. She's kind of just trying to do it on her own. And therefore, all of the people that are around her trying to support her are kind of suffering, which is her husband and then her brother-in-law, Martell. Yeah. So they all come together to go to this lake house, which I'm assuming must be Alex and Martell's family home that they're in for the weekend. So Vanessa takes a walk, leaving Alex and Martell at the house, and she goes and walks around the forest. Well, then she's walking around looking at things, and then she sees something off in the distance, and it's her. And then her, what she sees, shoots at her, and she gets startled, and then she starts running back. So she's freaked out. Did she tell her husband then what she saw? I can't remember.
As I said, I can't really remember.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact.
I think she might have tried to.
I think So she kind of freaked out. They kind of settled in. He pretty much was trying to get her to kind of get out of the funk that she was in.
Yeah, it was taking a toll on their relationship.
Yeah,
you can tell they definitely have been distant since the passing of their child.
Right,
It sounds
yeah.
like they have been distant. There's a strain on their marriage.
Right, yeah. So it seemed like they were struggling. So they ended up like cooking food or something like that because they ended up in the backyard and
Yeah.
they were doing. I think they were getting ready to clean up or something like that, take things inside. And then the brother-in-law Martel ends up like burning his hand over the fire. So
Well,
he like,
how did he do that again? By the way, because I didn't think about. I'm thinking about it now. Didn't he just kind of reach over the
yeah, he
fire?
reached over the fire and it must have caught him really good. So it just kind of like burned his hand. So he ended up wrapping his hand, going inside to, or he ended up taking his hand, like holding his hand and going inside to wrap it. So then Vanessa and Alex were like outside talking for a little bit, and then Vanessa goes inside, and she sees Martel standing by like the kitchen door, and he's drinking a drink, and she spots his hand, and she's like, "What happened to your hand? Like, why? How did it heal so fast?" And he was like, "Oh, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was." And then he sets his cup down and he walks out the door. But then Alex comes in. They started having a conversation, and then Martel comes in from the other side of the room and he has a bandage on his hand. So she is like freaking out, kind of like, gaslighting herself a little bit. She's kind of like, am I going crazy? Like, is my grief like starting to drive me insane? So she ends up going to sleep, right, babe?
Yeah.
And then she ends up waking up the next day and going back into the forest. And when she gets into the forest, she gets lost. And she finds like this tree and she keeps like going past the tree and walking. Every time she comes back around, she ends up back in the same
Right.
spot. And
No
she's trying to
matter-
figure out what the fuck going on.
Yeah, no matter what direction she goes to, after she ends up right back in that same spot.
Right.
Where she keeps passing through.
Yeah. So eventually she figures out that it is a portal. She ends up running into another version of Alex who ends up divorcing his Vanessa in his universe, and he turns out to not be a good guy. And then she ends up running into another version of herself that is dead when she finally gets back to her original, because her whole goal was to get back to her original timeline.
Yeah.
So she does end up getting back to her timeline with the help of the other Alex. He uses like fishing line to help her get back. And it turns out that another version of her from a different timeline gets killed by Alex. And then Alex is like, knocks her out, ties her up, and is questioning her like, how are you over here laying on the floor dead and sitting here in a chair? And like you said, babe, they never explained why he killed the other Vanessa. So that was the only confusing part for me.
I think it was just because like literally he was just like, you're not my Vanessa. Which is like,
yeah, but he never explained why he shot the one that was shot in the leg.
Yeah.
Why did he kill her?
You had to put her down.
Right. It's like they don't explain it. So, anyways, Martel.
Kind of just like confusion part number one for me.
Right. So Martel and Alex, her original timeline, Martel and Alex end up like fighting each other because Alex had a gun. He was gonna shoot Vanessa, and then Alex the gun ends up going off, and then Alex ends up getting shot. And so then Martel unties her. He lets her go, and then he ends up killing himself. So then she ends up going back into the time like tree thing or whatever, and then she ends up running to the other Alex, and then he ends up admitting to her that he found his timeline and that he's gonna go back.
Before that, she saw a dead Alex.
Oh yes, so she saw a dead Alex, and she thought that it was her, the one who's the divorce Alex. We're calling him divorce Alex. So she thought it was the divorce Alex. So she like kind of sat. She was like relaxing, or not relaxing, like kind of sleeping and trying to like regain and recoup and figure out what she was gonna do next. Like come up with a new plan. Well, then divorce Alex ends up showing up, and then she was kind of confused. She sees his hand and realizes that the dead Alex had a mark of a wedding ring on his hand, and it was missing. And then this new Alex, or divorced Alex, now has a wedding ring on his hand. So she kind of put two and two together, like, you killed that Alex, and now you're going to take over his timeline. And so he admits, like, yeah, I am. He's like, pretty much, this is the life he wants. He wanted to be back with his wife. He never wanted to divorce Vanessa. Vanessa divorced him because his OB was on life support, and he chose to pull the plug. And his wife could not forgive him for that. So she ended up divorcing him. Well, then he decides he's going to blow the tree so that nobody can ever go back to any other time, that they can't move around anymore. So then she ends up running into another version of herself, which is divorced Vanessa, who was looking for divorced Alex. But then she ends up like knocking divorced Vanessa out because divorced Vanessa was being crazy. And so she ends up stumbling upon the timeline, which is okay for her, I guess, because
You mean okay?
because it's like Alex is alive, Martell is alive. Because remember, they ran into the other timeline, her and divorced Alex, where which Alex and Vanessa were actually dead. Martell tells them that they died in a car accident when he was driving. So this is a timeline where Alex is fine. The dead Vanessa, the one that Alex shot that had the wound in her leg, this was her timeline. So she was already gone. There was no Vanessa to get rid of. And then Martell was there too. So she's like, okay, this is where I'm going to be stuck. So she kind of makes herself at home. She's finally ready to start grieving her son. And she goes up to his room and opens his door and sees like shoes on the floor and like a coat on the bed. And then she turns to her side and her son like says mommy or something like that.
It just says mommy, and then
so essentially she ends up in like her perfect universe. And so the other clue that we had when we were watching it too, that this was not her universe and that there was evidence that all of this was real, because she fell asleep and then she woke up and it was kind of like, was this a dream? Was this real? But when Alex suggested they go for a walk, her and Martell both say together, like, no, we don't want to go for a walk. Yeah. And that kind of gives you a clue that Martell was the Martell that was in the kitchen having a drink when he said that his hand healed up pretty quickly. Because she sat at the table and she was like, how's your hand? He was like, oh, it wasn't as bad as we thought it was. It was the same thing that he told her when he had that drink, showing you that he was lost in his timeline too.
He took over another timeline as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a really good movie. The only thing I'm confused now is, remember when they saw a Martell chasing a Martell?
Yeah.
Do you think it was that Martell chasing that Martell to kill him? So he could take over his timeline?
Yeah, I actually do. Actually, that just literally when you brought that up, like, oh, that made sense. He was probably trying to kill him. Yeah.
Yeah. So then it was the question that we had that you asked me, babe, was would I kill myself to take over a timeline if I thought it was like my perfect world? Like if I was like wealthy and like, you know, everything was like perfect in this timeline version of myself. Like would I kill me in that timeline so that I could then take over? And I'm like, I really honestly don't think I could.
You don't think you could kill yourself if you could take over yourself?
The only way that I would do that is if I got into a timeline where I was like living a comfortable life, but I was also a bad person. Like myself was kind of like, you know, like a CEO of an insurance company and was like denying motherfuckers their insurance claims and shit like that. Like I'll be like, you know what? I have all of this money, all of this time. Like I could actually be doing something positive with it. This bitch has got to go. And then I'm going to step in her role and I'm going to start doing things that can actually help change the world.
Now, what if you were a drug dealer?
Why would I want to take over that timeline?
Because you can retire from the game.
That's illegal.
Because you got I'm talking Pablo Escobar level. So now you got the money.
So nobody's gonna ever be able to come after me, is what you're saying? Because
but you're retiring.
You're saying
you can buy an island.
What does that have to do with going to jail?
Because now
I don't want to get. I'm gonna have to be on the run for the rest of my life. No, I don't want any extra stress. I'm already stressed. I don't need any extra stress in my life. I don't want to take over somebody else's timeline where I'm running from the law. No, I'm a pass. It's a no for me. But you know.
I got a different I'm taking myself out. Like, oh, you got a 2020 car? You don't need that, bro. You out of here.
2025.
Like, hold on, how you make how much an hour? Ah, you out of here, bro. Let me get that job about shit. You don't need to be here. You know what I mean?
I guess.
Yes, I am taking myself out. If any part of their life is better than mine, and I'm not trying to complain. I have a pretty good life. I have no complaint. But if they living a little bit better, you're out of here. This is my life. You know what I mean?
But what if you didn't realize that they were like terminally ill or something?
That's fine.
And now you gotta pretend to be terminally ill.
I'm healed. It's a miracle, y'all. I'm sure they had testing, so you know, I'm sure they had I'm sure me and another time if I had some terminal illness, I went to the doctor. Now when I go back, but I'm taking myself out. Like, hey, but me in another universe might try to take me out.
Right. That's the whole point. That's what I'm saying. I'm hoping that based on my personality, how I know myself, that I'm not going to want to take myself out, and I don't want to take myself out. So if there was other universes, hopefully they're not coming to try and stalk and kill me and take over my timeline.
Meanwhile, other Jasmine looking at you like, second she opened that stack. You know what I mean?
I hope not.
She looking at you like, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, babe. So I think that kind of wraps everything up. Unless you had anything else to add.
No, that's it. I think we're pretty good today.
Any final thoughts on what we talked about today, or anything else?
You know what? A couple final thoughts, fellas. Get you a woman that will hold you down. If you go to jail, make sure she on your side. We all need a Rihanna, okay? And billionaire got more than you. Get you a level up. Get you a woman better than you, first and foremost.
Or just be better. You could also do that. You could also just not go to jail.
I'd love to be able to say my girl take care of me. Love it.
Where? Where?
But no, yeah, that's all I really got. And go Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah. How about you, Dad? What you got?
I just want to say, as much as people want to try and avoid the news and avoid keeping up on things, I think that now is not the time to do that. I think being aware, being educated, and knowing what to do and be prepared for certain possible events that could be happening in the near future is very important. So, just make sure y'all tuning in to what's going on the news, but also kind of balance that out with trying to find you some like-minded people to talk to. We all need to have community, so find you a good movie or a good book to get lost into as well. I know it's a hard thing to say, find the balance, because between work and the increased prices of everything is probably the last thing on our minds that we're trying to focus on. We're just trying to make it through each day. But
Skyrocket prices.
yeah, but just find the balance between keeping and being informed and trying to still find some light in life. That's it.
Okay. Well, we would like to thank y'all for joining us for the very first episode of the We're Just Saying podcast. Make sure to follow us at our socials,
which is the We're Just Saying podcast on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. So subscribe, like, leave us a comment. Yeah, and we'll be back in a couple of weeks with our next episode. Yeah, follow. We trying to drop episodes every 2 weeks. So we both got full-time jobs, so bear with us. Right. This is our actual third time recording this episode, because the first time we recorded, it had no sound, and the second time we accidentally deleted it.
So y'all are coming with us on the journey. So we are on the journey.
So we are happy we finished our first episode. Thank you. Yeah. We'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Bye.
Blessing.